day's a day, a bad luck's always a coming my way.
For today's grim adventure, we find ourselves in a place known as Wolvercote Cemetery in Oxford, England, where today we're going to be visiting the grave, the final resting place of J.R.R. Tolkien. Wolvercote Cemetery really isn't that big, which means it's not that hard to find Tolkien's grave. But as soon as you walk in, you're going to see a sign just like this that directs you to where his final resting place is. Just a quick heads up. Our entire lives, both Jessica and I thought that the correct pronunciation of his name was J.R.R. Tolkien. But it turns out, in preparation for this video, we learned that it was actually J.R.R. Tolkien. Tolkien. I point this out because I know at some point somebody's going to watch this video and go, wait a second, ha, you're saying his name wrong, and they're going to leave a comment below. So I'm addressing it right now. Something we learned. I know there are a ton of flowers, at least flower petals on the ground, but we did bring Tolkien flowers. So far we counted 3 signs to get back to Tolkien's grave, and it looks like it's in the back part of the cemetery. Watching this video right now, you might be saying to yourself, wait a second, I thought for sure that Tolkien's grave was going to be something majestic, something otherworldly, something you would see in Middle-earth. And quite honestly, so did we. But it's a very quaint, very small grave. Right over here, you can see Jessica standing on the back side of the headstone.
It's not as small as some graves that we've seen for celebrities. You never know what it's going to look like until you come to visit.
Right? Usually they're pretty small and just kind of like quaint and just reserved.
Often, more than not, yes.
We don't want to disturb the grave too much, but Baby Ghoul, can you go ahead and move those flowers back just a little bit so we can read what the tombstone says? We're going to read it and then we're going to talk about it. It says, Edith Mary Tolkien, Luthien, 1889 to 1971, and then John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, Baron, I think I'm saying this correctly, 1892 to 1973. So what's the story with Luthien and Baron? The 2 names that are on the tombstone of the Tolkien family grave with Tolkien and his wife. Well, basically, there are characters that he created for his universe. Luthien is the immortal elf maiden, and Baron is the mortal. They fall in love. It's a story that might sound familiar. Remember Aragorn and Arwen? You can see the coins glistening in the sun. From all corners of the earth, all here because of Middle-earth. Even though it's not a very big tombstone or mausoleum, like something you would think, something otherworldly, it's still very peaceful and very beautiful. I mean, look at this. A visitor came out here and left Arwen's necklace. That's really nice. There's a second one around here too, but it's a little buried in the dirt. And then down here at the base of the tombstone, you can see somebody left a ring, one ring to rule them all. And there are some notes here, like Jessica was pointing out. The one that's open, it's in both English and Elvish. And there's another folded up note right there. We thought about bringing one of his books here and leaving it here. But instead, we brought flowers. We always try to bring flowers whenever we visit graves. And that's a nice little touch, the pink and white.
I did find the other necklace, and I cleaned it off. It was not so deeply buried in the dirt, but I thought that I would bring it out and set it amongst the flowers so that everyone can enjoy it.
Now that our flowers are on Tolkien's grave, here's a long shot of the final resting place. The reason those names are on the tombstone is because in Tolkien's mind and in his heart, he and his wife were where it all began. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it really makes me wonder, when our time comes, what's going to be on our tombstone? What's going to be on our mausoleum?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni. What do you want on your tombstone?
Meat lovers.
Meat lovers. What do you want on your tombstone, or what's on your tombstone?
What's on your tombstone?
Yeah. Now I can go for some pizza. And with that being said, I think it's time we say goodbye to Tolkien and his final resting place. There is one more thing we want to show you guys, and it's a little far away. And it's kind of cool, especially if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings. So I'm going to go ahead and reach out with my shadow and touch his tombstone. And Jessica's going to leave a kiss. When it comes to Tolkien sites in Oxford, England, trust me, there are a lot to see. We were just really excited about checking out his final resting place, the grave. There is, however, one more site that we want to check out, and it's a tree that is kind of like entwined with the door of a church. What we are about to show you are the doors to the St. Edward's Church. And if you're a fan of the world of Tolkien, this is going to blow your mind. Many people believe that the doors to this church were the inspiration for the doors of Durin in The Lord of the Rings. Now, Baby Ghoul, why don't you tell our viewers what the doors of Durin are?
Cliff Notes version, keep it short. The doors of Durin were one of the entrances to Moria. These particular sets represented the friendship between the dwarves that lived in Moria and the neighboring elves. So this is a door of friendship. You first see it in Lord of the Rings when the Fellowship reaches the door after a very rocky journey, and downplaying that. Under the moonlight, the door is illuminated and it asks you to speak friend, and the door will open, which being friend in Elvish.
To take it a little further, once they go inside, what do they find?
Everybody is dead.
Dun dun.
Dun dun. And then there's a Balrog.
Here's a shot looking up both of the trees with a lantern right there above the door. It's pretty magical. So these are yew trees, Y-E-W. And it's crazy to see this growth going all the way up the tree. Look at the roots of these trees. Oh man. Again, we need something like this in our garden, Baby Ghoul. Hey, first we need a garden, but once we do, we need these.
There is no such thing as a natural death. Nothing that happens to man is ever natural, since his presence calls the whole world into question. All men must die, but for every man his death is an accident, and even if he knows it and consents to it, an unjustifiable violation. Well, you may agree with words or not, but those are the keyspring of the laws of the ring.
Wait a second. If what we just showed you was the Lord of the Rings door, does this make this door the Hobbit door?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Flat-footed, I'm 5'3", but right now my boots have about a 3-inch or more heel to them, so I'm maybe 5'6" right now.
I know we're leaving a lot out when it comes to the world of Tolkien and what you can do around here. I mean, there's a lot to see. This is just like a small stop on the road for us because we're actually going to some bigger adventures. But passing through here, we had to stop and pay our respects and see the door. And with that being said, thank you for joining us on another grim adventure, this time visiting the final resting place of J.R.R. Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings doors.
And the Hobbit door.
And the Hobbit door. Pretty wild. Until next time, happy Halloween. Boo.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.